Good morning, welcome to the Allotment Gardener, 3rd of August, and we'll start off with some really good news. Everybody who's got an allotment will be pleased to hear that Safe Farm Terrace have overturned the initial stage of Eric Pickles' decision to give their allotments away to build the Watford Health Campus. What this means is the battle's still going, but it's a great start, great victory, and I know Sarah Jane Traybar has probably got a headache this morning after celebrating last night. I'm sure up and down the country everybody's had the same weather that we've had. It's been glorious sunshine, too hot in the house, and then we get the clouds come over, torrential downpour, thunder, etc., which is good for the plants, unfortunately good for the weeds, but I think some of my plants have got over wet. As you can see, the cauliflowers are starting to split a little bit and they've lost their lovely white colour. We have got a few that are still bright white, and I'll probably cut those out and take them home and eat them small. Perhaps the cauliflower cheese is in order. For those of you new to the game, you'll understand why there's only 7 plants in this bed. 4 squashes, 2 courgettes, and this thing crawling along here goes all the way back to the middle, and it's the giant pumpkin. Obviously this isn't a giant pumpkin yet, but it's a start. But you can see how much of the bed's been taken up by 7 plants. This rain has done wonders for some of these plants. This is the courgette plant, believe it or not, but as we said last week, we're going to leave this one to grow into a marrow, and it's racing along at the moment. Here's one of the squashes, and you may remember a week or 2 ago Phil said if we do get a downpour we're going to put these on little slabs. It's exactly what we've done here. There's the squash, underneath just a little tile to stop it getting damp. It's perfectly dry there because the water just runs off, whereas the soil is particularly wet. I've been talking about these moolis for a few weeks now. Took the first ones out and they look thinner than the carrot thinnings, and I checked them last week or the week before and I said they're not quite there, but that's a moolie, which I believe is a Japanese radish. We're taking that home along with quite a bit of other veg from around the plot today. I'm no moolie expert, but bearing in mind that they are some form of radish, take these tops off so that they don't lose all their moisture into the leaves. These will be going in the compost, which is where I'm going next. One of the tricks of a good compost is making sure you've got green and brown stuff in there. It's company accounts time of year, so in here I have all the shredded paper, the tops off the moolies is the green, garden waste is the green, a bunch of flowers for the good lady, and I'll give that a spread out, mix it out, brown green, brown green, brown green, and at the bottom of it is going to be some lovely black compost. The rain has done some wonders on these peas that are in the guttering. I'll probably put those out next week. Here's the herb bed from a different angle than the usual one, from the pond end. Flowers are looking good, herbs are looking bright, and I think the rain has done most of the work for us there. I don't know if it's that absolute downpour we had, whether it's the regular hosing or the multitude of ladybirds that have turned up, but it looks like we're starting to win the battle of the runner beans, and the aphids are much reduced in number. I'm going to start picking some of these beans. I have to be careful because just about everyone's got a ladybird on, and I want to make sure they go back where they should be. Only take what you need, but make sure you do pick them regularly, otherwise they're just going to stop growing. The guy behind the camera is going to be particularly pleased to see these coming off, because when they're turned into pakoras, that's one of his favourite snacks. Just have a look around the greenhouse. Lettuces are coming along. Have to put another row in, which I said I was going to do last week, but I'll definitely do today. There are a few ripe tomatoes which I'm going to pick, and I'll have one of these Apache chilies away, because I don't know how big they're going to get, but they're pretty big already. Purple peppers have appeared, starting to take up shape. Quite a few green chilies on the other plants around it that are doing well as well. All was going so well, and to say I'm a bit disappointed now is an understatement. As you can see, 3 of the tomato plants are no longer in the greenhouse. Whilst picking the tomatoes I came across this. It looks nasty, but it's not a disaster. It's called blossom end rot, and it's caused by a lack of calcium. There's sure to be plenty of calcium in the soil in the containers because it came out of grow bags, if you remember. The problem is here because of irregular watering. The tomatoes are at the very end of the plants, that is furthest away from the roots, and therefore the rest of the plant, stem, leaves, etc. might be getting the calcium, but it's not reaching the fruit. High air humidity can also restrict water being pulled in by the roots, so good ventilation is important. To ensure the ventilation is okay, we have decided to reduce the number of plants in the greenhouse, so taken out those plants with blossom end rot. The tomatoes not visibly affected on the removed plants will be used for green tomato chutney. Started off with some good news. Farm terrace allotments. Went on to losing 4 of the tomato plants, but at least the sun's out and we've got a good array of vegetables for tea. See you next week.